because I was up all night thinking about it. Silver gold ratio and the silver slingshot. Potential energy for silver price explosion. The gold price is the canary in the silver mine. Yankee Stacking, good friend of mine, he says, hi folks, it's Silver Dave at local Silver Mint in Ware, New Hampshire. I am excited to make this video and talk about this because I was up all night thinking about it. And I didn't sleep. Okay, I did sleep a little, but I was definitely thinking about this last night and this morning and yesterday. And that is silver gold ratio and the silver slingshot. And in a moment, I want to show you a little graphic, a visual aid that I made on the dry erase board here that's going to sort of explain what I'm describing and what I mean. But before I do that, I'm just going to go ahead real fast here. I'm going to grab a calculator, got my slave phone here. So first, before I show you this graph, I want to take a moment and talk about the gold-silver ratio. Gold-silver ratio. Some of you may have been paying attention to this. And the gold-silver ratio is the ratio between the value of silver versus gold. Now, if you look back in history, all around the world, for most of the past 1,000 years, the silver price has typically been at a 1 to 15 or a 1 to 20 ratio with gold, meaning that 1 ounce of gold would be equal in value to approximately 15 or 20 ounces of silver. That has mostly been that way all around the world for the past 1,000 years. Now, I know there are some spikes and some things that we can see at different times. Most of that has been recently. And in particular, over the past decade or so, we've seen that silver-gold ratio go extreme to where the silver-gold ratio was, 1 to 50, 1 to 60, 1 to 70, 1 to 80, 1 to 90. And I'm going to tell you where it is now in a moment. But that space between the gold and the silver is really important to recognize because gold is more trackable than silver. And so in turn, the silver price sometimes has a delayed effect. It's harder to know how much how much silver is out there than to know how much gold is out there because most of the gold is tracked and recycled, whereas silver is consumed every year by industry. So that has a lot to do with why there's so much more paper silver than paper gold. And that, I think, has a lot to do with why the price of silver, I would say, is artificially manipulated down. And the dark overlords or the global power elite, they're buying up silver and gold like crazy. And they're distracting people with digital currencies, in my opinion. Now, what is the gold and silver ratio today? Oh man, let's take a look. So I'm going to pull up an app here. I'm using Kitco for this purpose because they have a good app. We don't always use Kitco for spot, but we do for some applications like this video. Okay, so right now I've got gold at 34.50 and silver at 32.76. Wow. So gold price keeps going up. Now, what is that gold-silver ratio? 34.50 divided by 32.75. Gold-silver ratio as of this morning, 10 a.m., April 22nd, is 105.3 to 1 gold-silver ratio. That is huge. This is, so folks, the gold price is the canary in the silver mine.
Hey, Dave.
Uh-huh.
I bet you're not crazy enough to attempt to show off every item in the showroom in 30 seconds.
No, Dave, that's insane. Don't do it.
Did you just say I'm not crazy enough to show you the whole showroom in 30 seconds? Oh, you think I'm not crazy enough? Oh, I'm crazy. I mean, take a look at these prices. We have to be crazy to have prices like this and such a selection. Look at these premium coins, bars, rounds, all these designs. We got 6 designs to choose from in stock. Multiple mixed rounds, Morgans, 90% silver coins, 90% collectibles, barter bags, silver 1/10 ounce rounds for barters and trades, mining certificates from Arizona Mining Company from 1927. Boy, those are pretty cool. Take a look at these box sets, miscellaneous gram bars, silver swords. Woo! Jordan, wow. We got silver snuffers. We got all these incredible things. Take a look at these showrooms and take a look at these prices. If you don't think I'm crazy, when you see the prices we have at local Silver Mint, you're gonna know that I'm crazy. Okay, the gold price is the canary in the silver mine. What I mean by that is that when the gold price keeps going up and the silver price hasn't gone up yet, it's building pressure. It's building pressure and potential energy pulling back like a bowstring. And the further back that it pulls, the more energy, potential energy is gained. And so that when it does have a correction, it's going to snap extra hard. Okay, so with that being said, I want to show you this horrible graph that I made. I'm not an artist. That's not my typical skill, but I want to try to depict this information to you. Okay, so these lines here represent the gold price. Gold at $3,200, $3,300, $3,400. This line here represents the silver price at $32.75. At $3,200 gold, silver is less than 100 to 1. At $3,300 gold, now silver is over 100 to 1. And you can see that like a bowstring that it pulls back. So now at $3,300 gold, silver at $3,275, the space is bigger. And now $3,400 gold, and look, now it's over 100 to 1. Now the gold price looks like it's heading to 3,500, which pulls this bowstring back even further. Do you see how the more space between the gold price and the silver price is more potential energy for silver price explosion? Now, we've had very funny stuff happening. Customers have been coming in the store and they've been trading their silver at a low for gold at a high. Now, I know gold is the hype right now. Gold is the hype because of all the action it's getting. But the gold price is the canary in the silver mine. When you see the gold prices going up so much and the silver price hasn't yet, that tells me that it's coming. And so whether you want to buy gold when it's having this performance, do you want to buy gold when it's like already on an up, on an all-time high? Or do you want to buy silver when I would say it's at a low? I think there's a silver price explosion coming. I would not trade your silver for gold. I don't recommend that. Yankee Stacking, good friend of mine, he says something that I like, and he says, keep what you have and buy what you want. Don't trade what you have for other stuff. Just keep what you have. You probably paid a premium, and so if you trade that out, you lose the premium, and then you pay a premium on the new thing, and so you lose a bunch of margin on that. That's not good. Hold what you got. I'll give another example is that in the Army Special Forces, you got to do parachute operations. You got to jump out of airplanes. And, you know, when you're close to the ground, the saying is hold what you got and then prepare to PLF, parachute landing fall. You hit the ground and you do basically a tuck and roll type of a action. And so once you're close to the ground, hold what you got. You're not going to be able to make much adjustment anymore once you're that close to hitting the ground. At that point, just prepare for impact. And so in this case, hold what you got. Don't try to switch at the last minute to gold. If you were to switch to gold, like a year ago, if you had the gold, maybe you would have got gains for the gold. But I'm going to suggest that if you're a little more patient and you're willing to wait a little longer, the silver price action is going to bring you higher percentage returns. This is a lot of pressure. Do you see how that at $3,200 gold, that drawstring pullback is not as much? At $3,300 gold, it's more. At $3,400 gold, it's more. At $3,500 gold, it's even higher. The higher the gold price goes, the more you want to buy silver. I know it sounds crazy, but if you're seeing this, if you're understanding what I'm getting at, you have to be a little more patient. And so silver actually may be more valuable than gold. What I mean by that is that all the silver in the world versus all the gold in the world, the silver is a lot bigger. There's a lot more of it, and it's lower value per ounce. But the value of all the silver in the world versus the value of all the gold in the world, possibly similar. The global power elite are accumulating silver. My phone is blowing up over there. Do you hear that thing just keeps beeping at me? It's like beep, 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 beep. Anyway, so with this, buy silver. Now, what do I think the price is going to do? A lot of people think I'm crazy. I might be. Maybe. But I think the silver price could go even in the next week or two. We could see $38 silver, totally possible. And $38 silver would bring the silver gold ratio back to 90 to 1, which would at least be less crazy than me, and less crazy than it is now. And so, but longer term, do I see $100 silver? Well, first off, at 105 to 1 silver gold ratio, that tells me that the silver price should do roughly a 5x to catch up with gold. 5x silver, that is around $160 an ounce silver. Totally possible, even in the near future, especially when people find out that most of the silver in the world is actually paper promises for silver, not actual silver. Therefore, most of the silver that people think is out there doesn't even exist. And when that becomes common knowledge, silver price explosion. Now, could the silver go even higher than 160 to 1? Absolutely. The silver price, get ready to think I'm crazy. Here's the part where they say, okay, Silver Dave, you need to go to the insane asylum. Well, here I go. Think what you want of me. But silver price, there's 380 ounces of paper silver to every 1 ounce of silver that is produced. And so it is very possible that the silver price at some point, possibly triggered by a financial catastrophe, may do a 380x. 380x silver is $12,000 an ounce. That's pretty huge. Now, you might say, Dave, $12,000 an ounce silver, that's just not, no, come on. Well, hold on a second, folks. Dollar inflation. Don't forget, do you remember what the prices of things were 6-7 years ago? How much was it for a stick of butter or a dozen eggs? How much have the prices of things gone up? Commodities, most of the common commodities. How much has your house gone up in value or in dollar price? A lot. In 6 years, almost everything has more than doubled. Butter is like more than double of what it was 6 years ago. And the speed at which this thing is going is faster and faster. And so $12,000 silver, totally possible. However, don't expect everything else to be the same. When we see $12,000 silver, we probably will see $250 a gallon gas, $95 stick of butter, $100 dozen eggs, and the prices of everything just going up. Now, the worst thing about inflation is that the last thing to be affected by inflation is usually people's wages, meaning that you're getting paid this amount of money, but the cost of all the things you need to buy keeps going up and up and up and up, and you get a 1% raise, but the inflation has gone up 15%. So you get lower and lower, and then it becomes really hard to pay the bills. And you're like, hey, how come I make $100,000 and I can barely pay for my 1-bedroom apartment? And that's because of the inflation. And that's why it's so painful to basically the people, not the tyrants and not the dark overlords. They're on the other end of this thing. They win off of it, but it crushes the people. So that's why you want to have silver, so that your money holds its value, because that silver price going up, silver price is artificially manipulated down, so you have potential gains, but B, it's a dollar inflation hedge. And so that's going to give you the ability to maintain that hard-earned wealth that you've worked hard for, and you don't want it to evaporate. So with that being the case, we can see the silver price go anywhere from $160 an ounce to $12,000 an ounce. And yeah, think I'm crazy. Sure, think I'm crazy if you want, but that's how I feel. And at those numbers, all the more reason why you want to have a portion of your stack in little pieces of silver that you can use for direct barters and trades on the local economy. You don't want to sell your silver back for dollars during the dollar meltdown. You want to trade it directly for goods and services. If it's $12,000 an ounce silver, then you're going to have a lot of trouble trading an ounce of silver or a 10-ounce silver bar for anything. And if you think you're going to cut it up at home and that's going to work good, you're not going to lose a bunch of silver and get a jagged edged thing that's hard to recognize, well, that's what will happen. You're not going to be able to just do in your first try to make your silver into smaller pieces without losing a bunch and doing a horrible job and possibly hurting yourself, burning your house down, and then your wife is like, honey, how come you burned the house down? Well, I wanted to save $1 per ounce and make my own divisible silver. Okay, good idea. So finally, I hope you're holding on to your silver. Hold on. If you want to buy some gold, but I think silver is going to give you a lot more potential energy. Pull back like a bowstring. I call this a silver slingshot. So thank you so much for watching, folks. I hope that this video reaches you well. If you think I'm crazy or you think I'm not, or what you think, comment in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are. I invite you to please like, share, subscribe, ring the bell to get notifications. Thanks for watching, folks. And remember to stack it up. Oh, yeah.